Sheikh Abu Hamza was just trying to juggle your memory and he was actually very impressed with your presentation, that you actually balanced. You are in fourth year, mechanical engineering or chemical? Industrial chemistry, but you've memorized verses of Shafi'i, a lot of Quran, mashallah. At this stage, we're very much impressed. So we wanted to know from your personal experience how you've been able to achieve that. I think one of the, and I'm told there are so many hufad here, Allah barik fikum. So you can see that from the villages they are coming from the area you're doing at that early stage, you go to the madrasa, there's no limit. But even if you've not done that, Abu Hamza will tell you he made somebody a student in university. He was doing a very complicated study, but he had no verse in the Quran in his memory. That's true. And in 1 year, he was able to memorize the entire Quran. So you can be able to do that. There's no, and if you can do chemical engineering, geospatial engineering, how can you not memorize for the Quran, or at least know the basics of Usul Thalath, Arba'un al-Nawawiyya, and those, and so on and so forth. And those of us who have that knowledge, you can create study groups in the mosque. You can find time to share that knowledge with the ones who here who have not had that chance. One of our students was sent to do a study, and he became the imam of that region. You see, because from the area we come, it finished Thanawi. So don't sit with that knowledge. You can be the imam of here, and you can share that knowledge. So and try to impart that with the others. On the question of jurisdiction, we talked about pecuniary jurisdiction, and we said the Kadhi's court have unlimited pecuniary jurisdiction with regarding to the matters under its jurisdiction, under its core jurisdiction, which is personal status, marriage, divorce, and inheritance. Meaning there's no limit to the value of the amount of on the case that you're going to hear. You cannot be stopped from hearing a matter because the value is more than this. And that's very peculiar only to the Kadhi's court, because the magistrate court, according to the hierarchy, the resident magistrate court will only hear up to probably 500,000, and the senior resident has a limitation on the pecuniary jurisdiction. But in the Kadhi's court, all of them, from resident to the chief Kadhi, they have unlimited jurisdiction on pecuniary. On original jurisdiction, on the matter relating to personal status, the questions of Muslim law in personal status, marriage and divorce and inheritance, the Kadhi's court is the court of first instance to determine that when the dispute becomes a question of Muslim law between all parties who are Muslim. So sometimes the High Court has the original jurisdiction in all civil and criminal matters, original jurisdiction. But as a matter of practice, any court that has any court that has been established with jurisdiction, it should start with the lowest court, with that special jurisdiction, and then on appeal you can go to the other. Although you can go to the High Court on any of these matters with the Kadhi's court, you cannot go there directly if that matter first can be heard by a court. And that's the best practice, and that's the case law in Kenya. And there have been people who've tried to circumvent the Kadhi's court and go to the higher court, and they will return to the Kadhi's court. They return them, and usually they go there because they are buying time. They want to make it more complicated. That doesn't end. But when you go directly to the High Court, you're actually limiting the opportunities to appeal on that case. Because when you are starting there, then you have to go to the Court of Appeal, and it becomes very problematic to start a case on the Court of Appeal. When it starts at the Kadhi's Court or Magistrate Court, then it can always be heard on appeal at the High Court, and after that at the a Court of Appeal and even the Supreme Court, but no case has gone up to that one. Territorial jurisdiction means geographical jurisdiction. Can a matter that what we call the facts of the case, the cause of action arose at, let's say, Nyeri. Can somebody go file a case in Nairobi or Muranga or go to Meru to open that case? That's what it means about territorial jurisdiction. In the other courts, that's the best practice, and you'll not be able to do that in the other court. But in the Kadhi's court, the court should be formed on two aspects: where the cause of action arose, two, where either party is residing or working at that place. And often it's the defendant. In the magistrate's court, you only file a court where there is the defendant or the respondent is actually living for gain. So, and that became, but the Kadhi's court, the rules say you can file it anywhere. Because when we made the rules, we look into the issue of the marriage. The girls here, one of them is coming from Garissa, the other from Wajir. They are married here, and then something happens. The husband maybe is coming from Nyakacho, Kisumu. They live together in Eldoret, and then when they divorce, where do they go now? Do they come to Nyeri where they were married, or go to Eldoret where they are living? And she's gone home, and you tell her to go to Eldoret, she doesn't know anybody here. They were just there for that reason. It becomes very problematic, and that's why you say where either of the parties live. But you cannot forum shop. Just because the other Kadhi, I know is better, you'll make my case, I know him more, so you just go to the Kadhis that you are choosing. You cannot just elect where to open. It must be on these two factors can be able to guide us. Does the Kadhi's court have appellate jurisdiction, meaning enough that you are not happy with the decision of the Kadhi's court? So do you have a right to appeal? The right to appeal is a constitutional right in all courts. Even in the Kadhi's courts, even under Islamic law, it is allowed. We don't, within the Kadhi's court system, unlike other jurisdictions like Zanzibar, where they have the appellate, they have the appellate Kadhi's court. So in Zanzibar, you have the Kadhi's court, the appellate Kadhi's court, and then the High Court. And at the appellate Kadhi's court, these if you are not satisfied, it will be heard by two Kadhis or more than one Kadhis. Usually the Chief Kadhi and the Deputy Chief Kadhi at the appellate Kadhi's court. If you are not satisfied, it will go to the High Court, where the judge of the High Court will sit with scholars, two prominent scholars, and they'll make that decision. And you cannot go after that, you cannot even go to the Court of Appeal in Zanzibar. In Kenya, you just go to the High Court. Appeals lie at the High Court if you are not satisfied. And under section of the 65 of the CPA, that is Cap 21 Laws of Kenya, the Civil Procedure Act, the judge will sit with the Chief Kadhi or with any other two Kadhis as assessors in that appeal. At least to try to, the Kadhis or the Chief Kadhi will guide him on the issues of Islamic law. In the Court of Appeal, if you are still not satisfied, you'll go to the Court of Appeal. There in the Court of Appeal, the issues are only on the issues of questions of law. There are no questions of facts. So there, the judges, usually it's not one judge, it's a bench of judges, 3 judges, who will decide according to the advocates. And the Chief Kadhi doesn't stay there, and that's part of the problems that we're having. There have been cases that go up to the Court of Appeal that came from the Kadhi's court, but they don't go to none has gone yet to the Supreme Court, but one is soon going to the Supreme Court. We are foreseeing it, the recent decision. So the only time that a case from Mombasa will go to the Nairobi Supreme Court is when it actually goes to the Supreme Court. But usually a matter will go to what we call the geographical jurisdiction. All the magistrates are under supervisory jurisdiction of a high court. So the matter in that geographical jurisdiction of the high court will lie on appeal in that high court and in the Court of Appeal. And that, like cases here, all the way from Marsabit will be heard here in Nyeri. Marsabit, Moyale, Isiolo, Garbatula, Kadhi's court, all of them, the Court of Appeal is in this one. And the others from Nyeri, from Western Kakamega, they'll be heard in Kisumu. There's a Court of Appeal, and the others will be heard in Mombasa, in that region, or the coastal region. And the ones from Nairobi will be heard here at Nairobi. So they cannot go to they'll go to the court that within its jurisdiction. The other question, the Kadhi's court can only hear matters where, is it open to everybody or is exclusive to Muslim? It is a special court, exclusive for Muslim. That's why the Kadhi must be a Muslim. All parties in a dispute must be a Muslim, except where the matter, the cause of action is a succession matter. We don't look at the parties, but we look at the deceased. Is the deceased Muslim? If the parties are not Muslim, that question will be going to court. That's why you find Christians also, where the father is, or the mother is, or the son is Muslim. Then these parties, whether they are not, they go to the Kadhi's court just to say, also, we are interested in this, we have a right or we don't have a right in a succession matter that is a Muslim. Sometimes it's not even the right to the succession matter cannot be direct. You are not a beneficiary, but you have an interest. Probably that property that the deceased had, you have a loan with him, he has a debt or something with him, you are not paid, you actually bought it, but he did not finalize the transaction. Then you have a right to claim that, even at the Kadhi's court, and then you'll be able to be given. Wallahu alam.